guys. Thanks for coming to see me tonight. I look forward to our evening visits. So, for those of you that are new, thank you for stopping by and giving me a chance. Please feel free to hit that subscribe button below and the bell that notifies you when I post a new video. And those of you that have been here before, welcome back. I just love your support. You warm my heart. So, for tonight, I thought we could do some more affirmation cards. The affirmators. And then we'll do another fairy tale out of the Celtic fairy tale book. This one. And for those that don't know or haven't read these before, they don't have any illustrations. It's like one per story. So when I start reading them, you can just close your eyes and let yourself drift off to me reading you this story. Okay, you don't have to look at the camera. You can if you want to. It's up to you. So why don't you get comfortable? Get the lighting the way you like it. You can have a lot of light, a little light, night light, whatever you want. This is about you. And the only thing, and Angel always says this, no lit candles if you're trying to sleep. Okay, that can be very dangerous. The electric candles are great. I highly recommend them. Okay, and get yourself comfortable, whether you're on a bed, a couch, a chair, the cushions on the floor, whatever. So let's read some of these affirmation cards, because I think we all need something positive to go to sleep with. So this one is called Wonder. There's the picture. And it's a wonderful thing to be in a state of wonder. And when I'm a good audience to my life becomes better and better theater. When something delightful happens, I can shout encore and be tickled when it happens again. When something maddening happens, I can laugh it off. Either way, I'm glad I got a ticket to the show. I like that one. That's a keeper. And this one is worthiness. And I tell you guys all the time, you are worthy of good things, okay? I am worthy of the ultimate happiness. I deserve and accept it. And damn it, I'm not going to feel guilty about it when I get it. Guilt is not invited to my happiness party. I won't even tell him where it is. If he asks about it, I'll be like, oh no, I think you're thinking of something else. And then I'll run away. But everybody is worthy, okay? Everybody. Ooh, abundance. Congratulations. It seems you're due for a little piece of abundance pie. Feel that you don't deserve it? Knock it off. It's already plated and ready to hit your table. Reluctant to take it? Never mind that. Abundance pie is big enough to serve for everyone. So get your whipped cream ready and have some well-deserved metaphysical dessert. Metamorphical, sorry. It's dimly lit and I have old eyes and it's nighttime. Forgiveness. I love forgiveness. You guys know that. Congratulations. You're being given one of the most powerful superpowers there is, forgiveness. Imagine that you've been bitten by a radioactive forgiver. The point is, you suddenly have the ability to forgive people for their flaws, their bad days, their unkind moments, and their mistakes. That's the best thing about forgiveness, is that you can apply it to yourself too. And I think a lot of us have some problems when it comes to forgiving ourselves for things. Okay? You have a right to be forgiven. And remember what we say about mistakes, guys. It's only a mistake if you don't learn from it. If you learn from it, then it's a lesson. And we all have those, right? Friendliness. Whenever I smile, I make someone's day better. What a cool way to buy happiness for free. Today, I will remember what an awesome power I hold, and I'll take joy in improving lives simply by giving away grins like crazy. Which is true. Sometimes all it takes is a smile. I find especially people asking for money on the street. If you don't want to give or you don't have it to give, that's okay. But it costs you nothing to give them a smile, to look them in the eyes and basically let them know that you see them as a person. Generosity. I give generosity to those around me, no matter how much or how little I have. I know there is more than enough to go around, and that the key is to allow it to keep going around without stopping. If I stop the flow, I'm like the one person at the stadium who doesn't do the wave. Okay. I think that's enough of those for tonight, don't you? But it gives you something to think about, to strive for, to reflect on. So, Celtic fairy tales. We're almost finished the book, guys. It's okay, I have another one. Okay, this one is called Fair, Brown, and Trembling. There once was 3 sisters whose names were Fair, Brown, and Trembling. Fair and Brown had new dresses, and they went to church on Sunday. Trembling wore rags and was kept at home to do all the cooking and the heavy work. They would not let her leave the house at all, for she was so much more beautiful than the other 2, and they were worried that she'd find a husband before they did. Fair and Brown kept on this way for 7 years. At the end of that time, the son of the king of Oman began to pay court to Fair, who was the eldest sister. One Sunday morning, after the other 2 had gone to church, the old henwife came into the kitchen to Trembling and said, "You should be at church. You're not supposed to be here working." "Oh, how could I?" asked Trembling. "I have no clothes good enough to wear to church, and if my sisters were to see me there, they would kill me for leaving the house." "I'll give you a finer dress than either of them has ever seen," said the henwife. "What would you like?" "Oh, I would like a dress as white as snow and green shoes for my feet," said Trembling. Then the henwife put her cloak on, a cloak of darkness. She clipped a piece from the rags that Trembling was wearing and asked for the whitest and most beautiful dress in the world and a pair of green shoes. The moment she had the dress and the shoes, she gave them to Trembling, who tried them on. They were a perfect fit. When Trembling was dressed and ready, the henwife said, "I have a honey bird here to sit on your right shoulder, and a honey flower to put on your shoulder. At the door stands a milk-white mare with a golden saddle for you to sit on, and a golden bridle to hold in your hand." Trembling sat on the golden saddle, and when she was ready to start, the henwife told her, "You must not go inside the church, but wait at the door. The minute the people start leaving the church, you must come home as quickly as you can." When Trembling arrived at the door of the church, everyone who caught a glimpse of her was dying to know who she was. They all hurried out at the end, but they were too slow. She was already halfway home. When she got back to the kitchen, she found that the henwife had prepared the meal. All she had to do was take off her white dress and put her rags back on. When the 2 sisters arrived home, the henwife asked them, "Have you any news from church?" "Oh, yes," they said. "The most wonderful grand lady came to the church door. She had on the most stunning dress, and there wasn't a man in the church, from king to beggar, who didn't want to find out who she was." Nothing would content the sisters but to have dresses just like the one that the grand lady was wearing, though they could not have honey birds or honey flowers to sit on their shoulders. Next Sunday, the 2 sisters went to church again in their new finery, leaving Trembling at home to cook the dinner. After they had gone, the henwife came in and asked, "Will you go to church today?" "I would like to," said Trembling. "What would you like to wear?" said the henwife. "A dress of the finest black satin and red shoes for my feet." The henwife put on her cloak of darkness and asked for the dress and the shoes. She placed the honey bird on Trembling's right shoulder and the honey flower on her left. She sat her up on the mare with a saddle and a bridle of silver. Once again the henwife warned Trembling not to go inside the church, but to wait at the door and to rush away as soon as the service was ended. That Sunday, everyone was even more astonished than before. Everyone was looking at her and wondering who she was. But once again, she slipped away so fast that no one could see her. The hen wife had the meal ready, so all Trembling had to do was take off the satin dress and put her rags on, just before her sisters got home. "And what news do you have today?" asked the hen wife. "We saw the grand lady again," said the sisters, "and even our new dresses look dowdy compared to hers. Everyone was looking at her and no one was looking at us." So all that week, the sisters gave no one any rest or peace until they got dresses just like the lady's black satin. On the third Sunday, Fair and Brown went to church dressed in black satin. They left Trembling at home to work in the kitchen, telling her to be sure and have dinner ready when they got back. After they were gone, the hen wife came to the kitchen. "Well, my dear, aren't you going to church today?" "I would go if I had a new dress to wear," said Trembling. "And what dress would you like?" asked the hen wife. "I would like a dress as red as a rose from the waist down and white as snow from the waist up, a cape of green for my shoulders, a hat on my head with a red and white and green feather in it, and shoes on my feet with the toes red, the middle white, and the backs and the heels green." The hen wife put on her cloak of darkness and asked for all of these things. When Trembling was dressed, the hen wife put the honey bird on her right shoulder and the honey flower on her left. Then she placed the hat on her head and snipped a few hairs from one lock and a few from another with her scissors. The beautiful golden hair cascaded down Trembling's shoulders. Trembling set off for the church, riding a white mare with blue and gold diamond-shaped spots all over her body, and a saddle and bridle made of gold. And the mare had a bird sitting between her ears, which began to sing as soon as Trembling sat in the saddle, and it did not stop until she got home from church. The fame of the beautiful lady had gone throughout the world, and all the princes and great men from far and wide came to church that Sunday, each hoping that they could meet her. The son of the king of Omea had forgotten all about Fair. All he could think about was the strange lady, so he did not go to church, but he hid himself outside. The church was more crowded than ever before. Everyone was straining and craning, trying to get a glimpse of the beautiful lady. As soon as they began to rise, Trembling ran from the door to the mare. She was in the saddle in an instant and sweeping away like the wind. But the son of the king of Omea sprang after her and caught hold of her foot. She spurred on the mare, and he was left holding her shoe in his hand. Trembling was so upset, she thought that the hen wife would be very angry with her. But when she confessed, the hen wife said, "Don't worry, it may be the best thing that ever happened to you." When the sisters came home, Trembling was back in her rags and hard at work again. "So have you any news from the church?" asked hen wife. "We have indeed. Today the strange lady was wearing clothes even lovelier than before, and riding the finest horse that had a little bird sat between her ears, and it sang the entire time. The lady is certainly the most beautiful that has ever been seen in Ireland." Now, after Trembling had ridden off, leaving the son of the king of Omea with her shoe, he swore, "I will find that lady and make her my wife." But all the king's sons who had come to the church said, "Just because you have your shoe doesn't give you the right to her. You will have to fight us if you want to marry her." "When I have found her, I will fight the whole world to keep her," said the son of the king of Omea. So then all the king's sons together began to travel the length and the breadth of the country with the shoe, trying it on every woman in the kingdom, not caring if she was rich or poor, high or low degree. When young women saw the Prince of Omea with the shoe, many of them tried to make the shoe fit. Some of them cut pieces of their foot just to squeeze into it. The shoe was perfectly normal size, but it wouldn't fit anyone but its owner. Nor could anyone say what kind of material the shoe was made from. On the day that all the princes were due to visit their house, Fair and Brown locked Trembling in the closet. "So that you will not shame us in front of the nobles," they said. When the prince gave the shoe to Fair and Brown, they tried, and they tried, but neither could make it fit. "Is there any other young woman in the house?" asked the prince. "Nope," said Fair. "Yes, there is," said Trembling from the closet. "I'm here." "Oh, her," said Fair. "We only keep her to put out the ashes." But the princes would not leave until they let Trembling out of the closet. When Trembling came out, she tried on the shoe, and it fit perfectly. The Prince of Omea looked at her, and he said, "You are the woman that the shoe fits, and you are the woman I took the shoe from." Fair said, "Nonsense, she's only a raggedy servant girl." But Trembling said, "Wait here." She went to the henwife's house, and the henwife put on her cloak of darkness and wished for all the clothes again. And then Trembling put on the outfits one by one and paraded before the princes, until even Fair and Brown had to admit that she was the grand lady after all. Then all the princes said to the Prince of Omea, "If you want to marry her, you're going to have to fight all of us." "I'm ready," said the prince. First, the son of the king of Lachlan stepped forward. The struggle began, and a terrible struggle it was. They fought for 9 hours, and then the son of the king of Lachlan conceded defeat. Next day, the son of the king of Spain fought for 6 hours. On the third day, the son of the king of Greece fought for 8 hours. And on the fourth day, the prince fought the sons of half a dozen other kings and defeated all of them. At last, there were no more princes to fight, and they all agreed that the Prince of Omea could marry Trembling. First, Trembling said, "Are you not going to ask me?" And the prince did ask Trembling, and she agreed. The marriage day was fixed, and the invitations were sent out. The wedding celebrations lasted for a year and a day, and then the prince brought home his bride. After some time, a son was born, and Trembling sent for her eldest sister to be with her and care for her. One day, when they were walking alone by the sea, Fair pushed her sister in, and she was swallowed by a whale. Fair went home and pretended to be Trembling, for they did look very much alike. "Where is your sister?" asked the prince. "She has gone home, for I am quite well and don't need her any more." "Are you sure it is not my wife that has gone?" asked the prince, for he felt in his heart that something was wrong. "Oh, no," she said, "it's my sister Fair that has gone." That night, the prince laid his sword between them. "If you are my wife, the sword will grow warm. If not, it will stay cold," he said. In the morning, the sword was as cold as when he put it there. Now, although Fair and Trembling had been walking alone by the sea, they had been seen by a young cowherd who was down by the water minding his cattle. He saw Fair push Trembling into the sea, and the whale swallow her. The next day, he saw the whales swim near the shore on the introlling tides, and he cast Trembling out into the sand. Trembling told him, "Go and tell the prince, that my sister Fair pushed me into the sea yesterday. The whale swallowed me and cast me out, but he will come and swallow me again with the next tide. He will do this 3 times. I am under a spell and cannot leave the beach, but must wait here to be swallowed again. Unless my husband saves me before I am swallowed for the 4th time, I shall be lost forever. He must come and shoot the whale with a silver bullet when he rolls over onto his back. Under the breast fin of the whale is a dark reddish-brown spot. My husband must hit him in that spot, for it is the only place where he can be killed." But when the cowherd got to the palace and started to tell his story, Fair gave him a drink that made him forget it all. The next day he went again to the sea. The whale came by and cast Trembling onto the shore. She asked the boy, "Did you tell the prince what I told you?" "No," he said, "I forgot." The lady of the house gave me a drink, and I forgot everything." "Well, do not forget tonight. If she offers you a drink, don't take it." As soon as the cowherd got to the palace, Fair offered him a drink, but he refused it, and he told the prince everything that Trembling had told him. The next day, the prince went down to the beach with his gun, with a silver bullet in it. He had not been there long until the whale came and cast Trembling out onto the beach. She looked at her husband, but she had no power to speak. He kept his eye on the whale. It rolled just once onto its back. He took aim and he fired. He had but the one chance, and he took it. He hit the whale on the exact spot, and the whale, mad with pain, turned the sea all around red with its blood, and then died. From that moment, Trembling was able to speak again. She went home with her husband. They took the cowherd into their household, raising him as if he were their own, and they sent him to school. As for Fair, the prince sent her to sea in a barrel, with provisions in it for 7 years. In time, Trembling had a second child, a daughter. "If this little girl lives, no one shall marry her but the young cowherd." And so it turned out. When the cowherd and the prince's daughter got married, Trembling said to her husband, "You could not have saved me from the whale without the help of that little cowherd, so I do not begrudge him our daughter." The son of the king of Omea and his wife Trembling had 14 children, and the two lived happily until they died of old age. The end. That was a good one tonight. A little reminiscent of a certain story, though. Okay, you guys. Those of you that haven't fallen asleep yet, let's take 3 breaths. We breathe in through our nose for a count of 4. We gently hold for a count of 4. And we release for a count of 4, if that's what you're able to do. So let's do it together. Breathe in for 4. Hold. And out. Very good. One more. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. And release. 2, 3, 4. Very good. The last one we'll do together. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Release. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very good. Now close your eyes, my darlings. It's time to sleep. And in behind your eyes are the sweetest of dreams. And you'll have them tonight. And as you drift off, always know, I love you, I value you, I honor you, and I'm so very, very glad that you were born.